when hope feels heavy and effort feels foolish. In that moment, the world may not shout at you to continue. It may sit silently and watch to see if you disappear. But hear this, your breath is proof that your story is not finished. You did not travel through storms, sleepless nights, and silent tears just to surrender at the edge of becoming. Somewhere inside you lives a strength that has been quiet, not gone. And today is not asking you to be fearless or perfect. Today asks for one simple, rebellious act of courage. Just stop giving up for once. Giving up is not weakness. It is a human response to pain, to exhaustion, to carrying more than the heart was ever taught to hold. There are days when laying things down feels like survival, and no one should shame you for needing to breathe. But there is a quiet danger in staying down too long. Because while rest can heal you, surrender can slowly steal from you. It steals time, it steals possibility, and most of all, it steals the future you were meant to step into but never met because you turned back too soon. You have to remember this. Every season that tried to break you and didn't is evidence that you are stronger than you think. You are standing on victories you forgot to celebrate. The nights you cried yourself to sleep and still woke up. The moments you wanted to quit but somehow showed up anyway. That was not luck. That was resilience living inside you before you even knew its name. And if you have done that before, you can do it again, even now, even here. Life has a way of convincing us that failure is final, that falling means the story ends. But falling is not the same as finishing. A pause is not a conclusion. A setback is not a sentence. Too many dreams have been buried early because someone believed their worst moment defined their worth. Do not let a chapter convince you it is the whole book. Your future needs you to rise, not loudly, not dramatically, but honestly, with trembling hands and a willing heart. There will be voices, some around you and some inside you, that will say it's too late, that you're too tired, too far behind, too broken to try again. But those voices have never lived your life. They have never carried your scars, your lessons, your quiet hopes. You owe them no obedience. The world doesn't change because perfect people show up. It changes because imperfect people refuse to quit. So if all you can do today is take one small step, let that be enough. Progress does not demand perfection, only persistence. You don't have to see the whole road, just enough light for the next step. The strength you are waiting for is not coming from outside of you. It is born the moment you decide not to stay down. Just stop giving up for once. Not forever, not on everything. Just here, just now. Because the moment you choose to stand again, even slowly, even unsure, you reclaim something powerful, your future. And it has been waiting for you patiently, faithfully, believing you would come back for it. There was a time when you honestly believed you would not make it through. A time when the weight on your chest felt permanent, when the tears felt endless, when the silence after the pain was louder than any scream. And yet, here you are, breathing, listening, still standing in some quiet, unfinished way. That alone is proof that you are more powerful than the fear that once tried to claim you. You survived moments that had no mercy on you, days that did not explain themselves, nights that offered no comfort. Survival is not small, it is sacred. You didn't survive because life was gentle with you. You survived because something within you refused to disappear. Even when you doubted yourself, even when hope felt like a stranger, even when strength felt borrowed rather than owned, you kept going. Sometimes you crawled. Sometimes you rested longer than planned. Sometimes you broke in ways no one noticed. But you did not end, and that matters more than you realize. Do not minimize what you have come through just because others did not see it. Some battles leave no visible scars, yet they reshape the soul forever. The courage it took to wake up when your heart felt heavy, to smile when you felt empty, to keep believing when evidence said otherwise, that courage lives in you still. It did not vanish just because life got hard again. It is quiet now, perhaps tired, but it is not gone. There is a strange lie we tell ourselves. that if something hurt us deeply once, it will surely destroy us the next time. But pain does not get the final word. Experience teaches endurance. Each storm you survived taught your spirit how to bend without breaking. You are not as fragile as your fear suggests. You are layered with wisdom, patience, and a strength that has already been tested by fire. When the urge to give up returns, remind yourself of who you have already been. You have been brave before you knew what bravery was. You have been strong while shaking. You have carried yourself through darkness with nothing but faith and instinct. That version of you is not lost to the past. It lives inside you, waiting to be trusted again. So when life asks more of you, do not answer with surrender. Answer with remembrance. Remember the nights you endured. Remember the mornings you rose anyway. Remember the strength that showed up when you thought none remained. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience. You have survived things you once thought would break you, and that survival is not just history, it is evidence. Evidence that you can face this moment too. Evidence that giving up is not your destiny. Evidence that even now, even tired, even unsure, you still carry the power to stand again. Pain arrives in our lives uninvited, loud, and often unfair. It does not knock gently or explain its purpose before it settles in. It raises its voice, disrupts our peace, and demands our attention. And because it hurts, we assume it means stop, turn back, quit before it gets worse. But pain is not a stop sign. It is a teacher with a hard voice, one that speaks lessons we never asked for, but somehow needed. It does not come to destroy you. It comes to shape you, to show you where you are growing, where you are resisting, where you are becoming more than you were before. Pain teaches you what comfort never could. Comfort keeps you still, but pain forces movement. It pushes you to ask deeper questions, to confront truths you avoided, to see your own strength when all illusions fall away. It strips life down to what really matters. When you are hurting, you discover what you can live without and what you absolutely cannot lose. You learn where your boundaries are, who truly stands with you, and how much courage lives inside you when there is no easy way out. The voice of pain is harsh, but it is honest. It tells you when something is broken, when something needs healing, when something must change. Ignoring it keeps you stuck, but listening to it, truly listening, can transform you. Pain says, pay attention. It says, grow here. It says, do not waste this moment by running from it. Every scar carries wisdom, and every wound holds a lesson waiting to be claimed. Too often, we mistake pain for punishment. We ask, why me, as if suffering is a sign that we have failed at life. But pain does not single out the weak. It visits the living. It comes to those who dare to care, to try, to love, to hope. And when it comes, it asks one question: will you let this break you, or will you let it build you? The answer is never found in avoidance, only in endurance. Growth is rarely gentle. Becoming who you are meant to be will cost you comfort, certainty, and sometimes the version of yourself you once clung to. Pain marks the places where transformation is happening, even when it feels unbearable. It is proof that you are stretching beyond your old limits, learning how to stand taller under heavier weight. What feels like suffering today may become the strength you lean on tomorrow. So when pain speaks, do not silence it with surrender. Let it teach you patience. Let it teach you resilience. Let it teach you how powerful you are when you choose to stay. You are not meant to stop here. You are meant to learn, to rise, and to continue with deeper wisdom and quieter strength. Pain may raise its voice, but it does not own your future. You do. There is more inside you than what the world has witnessed so far. What people see today is only a fragment, a rough draft, a quiet rehearsal of who you are becoming. They have seen you tired, struggling, uncertain, perhaps even failing in public ways. But they have not seen your full measure. They have not seen what happens when your confidence finally matches your potential, when your courage catches up with your calling. The world has not seen the best of you yet because you are still growing into it. Too often we judge ourselves by our current circumstances and assume they are permanent. We mistake where we are for who we are, but your present moment is not a final verdict, it is a temporary address. Seeds do not look like forests, and beginnings rarely resemble outcomes. Just because your life feels small right now does not mean your purpose is. Just because your voice has been quiet does not mean it has nothing powerful to say. There are talents within you that have not been fully expressed, strengths that have not been fully tested, and dreams that have not yet found the courage to breathe. Some of them were delayed by fear, some were postponed by responsibility, some were buried under disappointment. But delayed does not mean denied. Buried does not mean dead. What lives inside you is patient, waiting for you to believe in it again. The world is quick to label, to decide who you are based on a moment, a mistake, or a season of struggle, but you are not required to live up to anyone's low expectations. You are allowed to outgrow old versions of yourself. You are allowed to surprise people. You are allowed to rise from places where others thought you would remain forever. Your becoming does not need permission. Sometimes the reason you feel restless is because your soul knows there is more growth, more impact, more life than what you are currently settling for. That restlessness is not a flaw, it is a signal. It is your inner voice reminding you that this version of you is not the final one. There are deeper joys ahead, greater strength ahead, and a clearer sense of purpose waiting for you to step forward. Do not let past failures convince you that your best days are behind you. Failure is not evidence of inadequacy, it is evidence of effort. Every attempt you made, even the ones that didn't work, shaped you into someone wiser and more capable than before. You are not starting over, you are starting stronger. So keep going, even if progress feels slow. Keep believing, even when doubt is loud. Keep showing up, even when no one is applauding yet. The world may not see it now, but something remarkable is unfolding within you. And one day, when you stand fully in your strength, fully in your truth, fully in your purpose, it will be clear to everyone, including you, that this was only the beginning. Rest if you must, but do not resign from your life. Rest is not weakness, and pausing does not mean surrender. Life is long and full of seasons that demand more than you can give at any one moment, and it is okay to stop, to breathe, to let your body and mind catch up. There is wisdom in slowing down, in taking the time to listen to yourself, in letting your spirit heal. But rest is different from resignation. Resignation says, I cannot continue, I will give up, while rest says, I will continue when I am ready. Do not confuse the two, for one preserves your life and the other quietly steals it away. There will be days when your energy is gone and your hope feels depleted, and those days will be necessary. They allow you to recognize your limits, to honor your humanity, and to acknowledge that even the strongest hearts need care. But after rest comes the moment of return. There comes a time when you must rise again, take up the pieces of your dreams, and move forward. That is the moment that defines you. It is not the rest that builds character. It is the choice to continue afterward that proves who you truly are. Life does not reward those who step away permanently from their challenges. It rewards those who return, who show up again after the fatigue, after the doubt, after the failures. Every time you rise after a pause, you reclaim a piece of your life that hesitation or fear tried to take from you. Each return strengthens your resolve and reminds you that the power to shape your life has never been outside of you. It has always been yours to claim again and again. When the world presses down and your spirit whispers that you cannot go on, listen to it, honor it, but do not obey it fully. Let it rest, let it recover, but promise yourself that you will return. Your life is not a problem to solve in one day. It is a story to be written with patience, courage, and persistence. And the chapters yet to come are worth every moment of effort you invest in them, every struggle you endure, every rise after a fall. Remember, resting is a form of preparation, not a resignation. It is the quiet strength before the next brave step. Your life is not over because you are weary, nor is it diminished because you pause. The real failure comes only when you stop trying altogether, when you hand over the pen of your story to doubt or despair. So rest if you must. Allow your body and mind to regain their strength, but do not resign from the life that is waiting for your courage to meet it. When you rise again, even quietly, even slowly, you honor both your limits and your potential, and in that act, you prove to yourself that giving up is never your destiny. Your past failures are not prophecies. Just because something did not work before does not mean it will never work again. Life is not a straight line, and mistakes are not permanent labels. They are lessons, reminders, and sometimes necessary detours that teach you more about yourself than success ever could. When you allow a failure to define you, you give it power that was never meant to belong to it. Each misstep is simply evidence that you were trying, that you dared to act, and that you were brave enough to risk something for a life you wanted to live. That courage, not the outcome, is what carries forward into every next step. People often assume that because they have stumbled once, they are doomed to stumble again. But the truth is that each failure equips you with insight, with understanding, with the kind of clarity that can only come from experience. You now know what does not work, what drains you, what boundaries you must protect, and what values are worth fighting for. That knowledge is a gift, not a sentence. Your past failures give you perspective, not imprisonment. They are like a map marking the paths that have been explored, leaving open the wide, uncharted terrain where you can still triumph. It is easy to look back and feel shame, regret, or embarrassment. The voice inside whispers that the mistakes of yesterday are your identity today. But shame is heavy and unnecessary, and regret is a burden that does not move you forward. You are not who you once were in that moment of failure. You are stronger, wiser, and more capable because you survived it. Each scar, visible or invisible, testifies to your perseverance, to the fact that you did not give up completely, that you continued to rise even when hope felt faint. Your past failures do not dictate your future, they inform it. They give you the choice to approach life differently, to act with more discernment, to love more deeply, and to fight more courageously. They are not warnings from fate, they are invitations to try again, to apply what you have learned, to step into your power with renewed understanding. Every time you take a risk again, even after falling, you are reclaiming the narrative that others might have tried to write for you. You are telling the world and yourself that your life is not bound by yesterday's outcome. So when doubt creeps in, when fear whispers that you will fail again, remind yourself that your history does not chain you, it strengthens you. Your failures were chapters, not conclusions. They are reminders that you are human, resilient, and capable of more than you realized at the time. Every step you take after a fall is a declaration that you are not defined by the past, that the future is yours to shape, and that the only prophecy worth believing is the one you choose to create. Your past failures are not prophecies. They are stepping stones to the person you are becoming. Choosing not to give up just once can change everything. That one decision, that one moment of quiet courage, has the power to shift the course of your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. Often, we look at change as something distant, monumental, or impossible, when in reality it begins with a single choice. The choice to continue when giving up feels easier, to take one more step when your legs are heavy, to speak one more word when silence tempts you. That single act of persistence carries the seeds of transformation, for the world responds to those who refuse to abandon themselves. The power of choosing to persist is often invisible at first. You may feel as though nothing is happening, that the effort is wasted, that your struggle is unnoticed. But change is patient, and it often begins in the shadows, in the small, uncelebrated moments where you decide to stand rather than fall. Every time you resist surrender, you are shaping habits of courage, resilience, and self-trust. You are proving to yourself, quietly but undeniably, that your life is worth fighting for, that your dreams are worth protecting, that your potential is worth believing in. Sometimes the hardest part is believing that the choice itself matters. It feels so small compared to the weight of the obstacles, so insignificant compared to the distance you feel from your goals. But it is never insignificant. One moment of persistence can set off a chain reaction, a ripple effect that changes how you see yourself, how others see you, and how the world responds to you. One decision to keep going can lead to a discovery, an opportunity, or a breakthrough that would never have existed had you surrendered. The courage to continue becomes a catalyst, proving that your life is not defined by endings, but by the willingness to move forward. Choosing not to give up also changes your relationship with failure. When you continue despite setbacks, failure transforms from an enemy into a teacher. Each misstep becomes a guide, each obstacle a lesson, each moment of doubt an opportunity to reinforce your determination. By choosing persistence just once, you reframe the narrative of your life. You tell yourself that you are not powerless, that your future is not dictated by chance or circumstance, but by the choices you make in each critical moment. And the beauty of it is that one choice begets another. The courage it takes to decide to continue today strengthens your ability to continue tomorrow. One act of persistence creates momentum, and momentum builds confidence, clarity, and vision. Your life begins to change not in a sudden explosion, but in a steady, deliberate unfolding of possibility. That one choice, to not give up, even just once, plants a seed. And that seed, nurtured by your commitment, can grow into everything you were meant to become.